Good morning, Junior 5. Today we're gonna start our first unit, which is called Fractions, Lesson 1, which is called Approximation. And together we're gonna recap on what we have studied the last year for the approximation. But first of all, let's together recap on the place value of the numbers. So as you see here, if you have a number like this, okay, and this number is separated in between by a decimal point. Okay, so this decimal point separates the number into two parts, the whole part and the decimal part. So the place value of the whole part, like the whole pizza, is the first one is called units, then tens, then hundreds, and after the decimal point is called the decimal part. Okay, the decimal part is the smallest part. Okay, so the first decimal place is called tens with the THS, the second one is called hundreds, and the last one is called thousands, and so on. If you are going to the right hand side, you can say after thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, million, 10 million, 100 million, and so on by the same way. So let's see next. If we have a number like 23 and he wants you to approximate this number to the nearest tens. The word approximate means give it to the nearest, go to the nearest. So let's recap together what we have took on the last year about the approximation. First, we started by drawing a number line. Excellent. So let's together draw a number line starting from 20 and ends with 30. So here we go to the 23, which lies between the 20 and the 30. So let's together see the places which is near to the 23. So the place where the 23 is near to 20 or 30, we're gonna count the places, and the closest place we're gonna take it as the approximation. So first, here we have 1, 2, and 3. So 3 places from 23 to 20, and from 23 to 30 we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's clear now that the place between the 23 and the 20 is smaller than the place between the 23 and the 30. So here the approximation of the 23 to the nearest tens is 20. Excellent. So that's what we have took the last year on the approximation, and now let's go to the second part. Together, to make the approximation easier, we took an approximation rule. Okay, so the approximation rule consists of two groups, the weak numbers group and the strong numbers group. So first of all, let's see the weak numbers group, which are 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in this weak group, we don't add anything to the circled number, while the strong numbers, who are 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9, here we add a 1 to the circled number. Excellent. Now let's see another example for the approximation. Let's read it together. Approximate to the nearest tens. And you've got to know that the word tens is the first place after the decimal part. Excellent. So if we have the word tens, it means that is equal to 0.1. If you got you approximate to the nearest 0.1, that means to the nearest tens. If you got approximate to the nearest 1 over 10, it means approximate to the nearest tens. And if you have approximate to the nearest 1 decimal place, means 1 place after the decimal point, also this is called approximate to the nearest tens, which is the first place after the decimal point. So let's together see the question. Here we have 35.69 hundredths. He needed to approximate it to the nearest tens. So first of all, what will we do? First, we will circle the number, which is the tens place, and we will look after. Excellent. And now let's ask the 9. Is this 9 from the weak numbers or from the strong numbers? Let's remember together. Excellent. 9 is from the strong numbers. So in the strong numbers we have to add 1. Add 1 to the circled number, the number that we want to approximate it to. So here we have to add 1 to the 6 to be 35.70, and the 9 will be crossed and cancelled to be 0. But right now we know that the 0 after the decimal place is meaningless. So it's meaningless. I don't want it, so I will never write it. It will fall. Go to the next question. 157.237. He needed to approximate it to the nearest tens, or 0.1 or 1 over 10 or 1 decimal place. All of them are the same meaning. So what will you do first? Excellent. First of all, you have to circle the number. So which is here the tens place? Which one is the tens place? 2, 3 or 7? Excellent. It's the 2. So we have to circle the 2, and then we have to look after the 2. So we have after the 2 the 3. Now you have to ask the 3. Is this 3 from the weak or the strong numbers? It's from the weak numbers, so I don't have to add anything. So I don't use to add anything to the 2. The answer will be 157.2. Let's go next. Now open your booklet, page 5, and let's see this question together. Find the result of each of the following operations, then approximate the result. So first of all, you have to find out the result of this operation and approximate this result to the nearest 1 over 100, which means excellent, hundreds. So let's see what will we do in adding. Do you remember when we used to add the decimals? Remember the song? Be careful adding or subtracting decimals. You have to line them up, up, up. So first of all, you have to line these parts into 3 ups. First of all, copy the number, the first number, and leave a spaces between every digit and the other digit. And next, copy the second number. And also be careful that every number or every digit under its brother. And what will you do next? You have to figure out the answer. So 3 plus 4 equals 7, 5 plus 6 equals 11, 1 and carry up 1, 1 plus 2 equals 3, 3 plus 5 equals 8, excellent. And now 2 plus 2 equals 4, and the 1 will be holded down. So the answer of this operation equals 14.817 Okay, next. What's next? You have to approximate it to the nearest hundreds. Excellent. So when I want to approximate to the nearest hundreds, first of all, you have to circle the hundreds place, which is 8, 1 or 7. Excellent. The hundreds place is the 1. Supers. So when I circle the number, you have to look after. And right now I will ask the 7. Is this 7 from the weak or from the strong? It's from the strong. So the strong group adds 1 to the circled number. So here I have to add 1 to the circled number to be 2. Excellent. And the result will be 14.82 hundredths. Thank you. Let's go to the second part. Also on page 5 in the booklet, let's see this question. 0.473 thousandths minus 41 over 500. He needs you to figure out the answer, then approximate it to the nearest 1 over 100, which means hundreds. Excellent. So let's go to the laser point. Okay. What will you do first? Here you have a problem, which is the 41 over 500. So when you add or subtract decimals, you have to figure out that the two numbers are decimals. So what will you do now? You have to change this into a decimal. How can I do this? you can do this by searching for the friends, you remember? So here we have some friends who are, the friend of 2 is 5 to give 10, the friend of 4 is 25 to give 100, and the friend of 8 is 125 to give 1000. And here I have 500 whose friend of 5, and the friend of 5 is the 2 to give 10. Excellent. So I have to multiply this 500 by 2 and the 41 by 2 also. So here we have to multiply up and down by the same number. When I multiply by 2 up and down, I will figure out the answer, which is 82 over 1000. Now it's clear that you can change this fraction into decimal easily by crossing the zeros and giving up a decimal point. Excellent. So let's remember together, if I want to change this number into a decimal, I have to count the zeros. So I have here 1, 2, and 3. So up you have 3 decimal places. Okay, so the result will be 0.082. So right now I have converted this 41 over 500 into 0.082. Can you subtract now? Yes, I can. How can you subtract decimals? By lining them up, up, and up. So let's put the numbers. And now let's subtract. 3 minus 2 equal 1, 7 minus 8 doesn't go, borrow 1 from the 4, the 7 will be 17 and the 4 will be 3. 17 minus 8 equal 9, 3 minus 0 equals 3 and 0 minus 0 equals 0. So the answer of this operation is 0.391 thousandths. Now let's approximate it to the nearest hundreds. Circle the hundreds place, which is 9. Excellent. So ask the 1. Is this one from the weak or from the strong? It's from the weak. It's from the poor family. It will never give anything to the 9. So the answer will be as it is, which is 0.39. Now let's see another example. Open your booklet, page 7. 10 minus 3.5116. He wants to figure out the answer of this question and he wants you to approximate it to the nearest thousands. By the same way, we know the place value, tens, hundreds, thousands. So after solving the operation, we have to approximate it to the nearest thousands. Okay, so what will we do now? We have to line them up, up, up. Excellent. So first put the 10. It has no decimal places, so it's the empty part. Then place the other number, which is 3.5116. Now what will you do in the empty spaces? Like here and here, you have to fill them with 0. So let's fill them with 0. Now subtract easily. 0 minus 6 doesn't go, so you have to borrow 1 from the very beginning. Here it doesn't go, so I have to go and borrow 1 from this 1. So now the 1 will be 0 and 0 will be 10. Now this 0 will take from the 10, it will be 9 and this will be 10. By the same way we do it to reach the last 0. Now 10 minus 6 equals 4, 9 minus 1 equals 8, 9 minus 1 equals 8, 9 minus 5 equals 4, and 9 minus 3 equals 6. So the answer here is 6.4884. Okay, now what will you do? We have to approximate it to the nearest thousands. Never forget to add or subtract the operation and approximate it. Never forget any part of this. So here I have to approximate it to the nearest thousands. Circle the thousands place, which is the 8. Excellent. Now let's look after the 8. We will look to the 4. Ask the 4, weak or strong? Weak will never give anything. Okay, so the answer will be 6.488. Go. Next, booklet page 8. Let's see this question. Given that L equals 62.3724 and M equals 32.7285, estimate the sum of L plus M, then compare your estimation with the sum to the nearest thousands. So it's clear that you have here 4 things to solve. First, you have to figure out the estimation of L plus M, then compare your estimation to the sum and approximate it to the nearest thousands. So what will you do? In the question of estimation, you have to separate your paper into 2 parts. The word estimate means guess. So we have to compare between the estimated value and the real value. So in the estimated value, we figure out the L. So we have to take the L and approximate it to the nearest unit. So here 62.3724 approximated to the nearest unit means that you have to approximate the 2. Look after, the 3 will never give anything, so the answer will be 62. By the same way, approximate the M to the nearest unit. So the circle will be on the units place, which is 2. Look at the 7 will give it 1, so the answer will be 33. Now, you have to find the sum of L and M. So let's find the sum of L and M together. 62 plus 33 equals 95. Okay, now let's go to the real value. What is the meaning of the real value? Real value means that you have to add the value of L and M together as they are without approximating. So I will just line up the numbers, okay, and the second number, and let's add them together. 4 plus 5 equals 9, 2 plus 8 equals 10, 0 and carry up 1, 1 plus 7 equals 8, 8 plus 2 equals 10, 0 and carry up 1, 1 plus 3 equals 4, 4 plus 7 equals 11, 1 and carry up 1, and 1 plus 2 equals 3, 3 plus 2 equals 5, and 6 plus 3 equals 9. So here you get the real value of the adding between the L and the M. So what's next? He wants you, after finding the sum, you have to approximate it to the nearest thousands. So let's approximate this number to the nearest thousands. First, circle the thousands place, which is the 0. Excellent. Look after. After the 0, we have 9, which is from the strong family. So it will give 1 to the 0, will be 1. Excellent. So the answer of the approximation will be 95.101 thousandths. Now you have to compare your estimation like he told you. So let's compare the estimation. Here the real value became 95.101 thousandths and the estimated value became 95 only. Can't you notice that both of them are totally near to each other? Yes, they are. So when they are very near to each other, here you have to say that the estimation is accepted. So estimation accepted when the two numbers, the estimated value and the real value, are very clear to be near to each other. Let's see the next part. Now, in page 8, let's read the question together. Two pieces of cloth of length 285.95 meters and 382.275 meters. Find the sum of the lengths of the two pieces approximating the result to the nearest hundreds. So here you have two things to solve. First, finding the sum of the two pieces of cloth, and second, to approximate it to the nearest 1 over 100, which means hundreds. Excellent. So let's first figure out the first part, which is the sum. So their sum will be by adding the two numbers of the pieces of cloth together. So let's take them in a draft and line up, then putting the numbers, and if you have an empty space, don't forget to fill it with 0. Now 0 plus 5 equals 5, 5 plus 7 equals 12, 2 and carry up 1, 1 plus 9 equals 10, 10 plus 2 equals 12, 2 and carry up 1, 1 plus 5 equals 6, 6 plus 2 equals 8, 8 plus 8 equals 16 and carry up 1, 1 plus 2 equals 3, 3 plus 3 equals 6. So the answer will be 668.225 meters. And that is the first part of the question. The second part, you have to approximate it to the nearest hundreds. So let's circle the hundreds place together. Here's the 2, the hundreds place. Look at the 5. 5 is weak or strong? It's strong, so it will give 1 to the 2 to be 3. So now we have solved this question very easily and simply. Now let's go to page 9 in the booklet. Let's see the question. Complete question number A. 39 days approximated equal dots to the nearest weeks. So first of all, we have to change these 39 days into weeks. We have to know how many weeks are there in 39 days. So from the smaller unit to the greater one, we have to divide. Divided by what? Divided by the number inside. So how many days are there in 1 week? 7. So we have divided by 7. So 39 divided by 7, you have to make it in a draft like the long division way. Let's see. 39 divided by 7 equals 5 and 35 down. Now subtract. 9 minus 5 equals 4 and 3 minus 3 equals 0. We will never write it. Now we have to write it in a form of mixed. How can we do it? Excellent. By the cycle. 5 and 4 over 7. So it will be 5 and 4 over 7. So 5 and 4 over 7. We need to change it into decimal to approximate it to the nearest unit, because we know that you have to, if you want to approximate to the nearest week, to the nearest day, to the nearest liter, kilometer, kilogram, anything, if you want to approximate to the nearest unit, you have to approximate it to the nearest unit. So here to approximate it, you have to figure out the friends. But I don't have a friend for the 7 to change it into decimal. What will you do? I will tell you. Take the numerator, which is 4. Multiply it by 2. The answer will be 8. Now compare. Is this 8 greater than the denominator? If it's greater, add 1 to the 5. If it's smaller, don't add anything. So I see here that 8 is greater than 7. So I will just add 1 to the 5. So 1 plus 5 equals 6, and here is the answer. So 39 days approximately equals 6 weeks. Go to question number B. 225 hours approximated to the nearest day. First, change it. How many hours are there in 1 day? We have 24, so we have to divide it by 24. Excellent. Now take it in a long division. Go to the draft. 225 divided by 24. Let's write table 24 together and see the smaller sister to the 225. Where is the smaller sister for the 225? Excellent, is the 216. So I will just write the 9 up and the 216 down. So 9 up and 216 down. Sisters say subtract. So let's subtract it. When I subtract them, I have the answer, which is 9. Now let's write it in a form of mixed number. We will write it as 9 and 9 over 24. Excellent. 9 and 9 over 24. Now if you want to approximate it to the nearest unit, to the nearest day, what will we do? Excellent. We have to multiply the numerator by 2. Multiply the numerator by 2. If it's greater than the denominator, add 1. If it's smaller, don't add anything. So let's see. When multiplying 9 by 2, it will give us 18. 18 is smaller than 24. So the approximation will be 9 and the 9 will remain as it is. So the answer here, 225 hours equals or approximately near to 9 days. Go next. Here we have 47,997 milliliters, approximately near to what? To the nearest liter. So here approximation to the nearest liter means approximated to the nearest unit. You have to know that 1 liter contains 1000 milliliter. So I have to divide by 1000. When I divide it by 1000, the decimal point will enter. Okay, so it will enter after 3 places from the right hand side. So the answer will be 47.997. Now approximated to the nearest liter means approximated to the nearest unit. So circle the units place, which is the 7. Look after, the 9 is from the strong family. It will give 1 to the 7, so it will be 8. So the answer will be 48. Go to the next question, number E. 3,725 meters approximately to what? To the nearest kilometers. So I have to figure out how many meters are there in 1 kilometer. Remember, we have 1,000 meters inside 1 kilometer. So I have to divide it by 1,000. When we divide it by 1,000, the decimal point will enter. Will enter after 3 decimal places from the right hand side. Excellent. So the answer will be 3.725. But right now you have to approximate it to the nearest kilometer, which means that you have to approximate it to the nearest unit. So let's circle the units placed together. Look after, the 7 is from the strong family, so it will give 1 to the 3. The answer will be 4. And right now, thanks for watching and goodbye.